Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome to the next episode of the Prostrate Protestant Podcast. So today we're going to be interviewing a wonderful friend of mine. In fact, he's more like family to me, Grandpa Dave. So Dave's going to introduce himself at the start and talk about who he is and what he identifies as. And then we're going to delve into a bit about his unorthodox views on the Genesis account. Then we're going to discuss his views on the dilution of Christianity in the UK, which will be a major question that I'll be asking to most of my guests throughout this series. I'm also going to delve into his experience as a Speaker's Corner. Lately he's been going there a lot, and he used to go back in the 60s. So I'm going to be asking him how Christianity has been treated there in the modern day, if it's been treated unfairly or not. I'm also going to ask him why some former Eastern Bloc countries such as Poland and Hungary, including many others, have a great, strong Christian culture, and what can we learn from them to replicate it in this country and in the West. And I want to ask him, what is, in this point in time, does the future look for Christianity? Does it look bleak? Does it look uplifting? We will be discovering all of this out in the next episode. God bless you all. When the prostrate Protestant goes marching in.
Hello, my name's David. I'm 83 years old. I worked for an airline the last 25 years of my working life, and I've been retired since 66. I was baptised as a Catholic from a very early age. I've been a Catholic all my life, a believer all my life, although I have laxed from time to time in my performance as a Christian, by not praying regularly, sometimes missing church on a Sunday, not engaging with others when I had the opportunity to talk about religion, because it always would come up to some kind of an argument, and maybe some uncertainty on my own part that I might not have the right answers. As I grow older, I've come to realise that there's more to life than just living to enjoy, living for possessions. To live for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, your friends, and for society at large, and offer yourself to help others whenever you get the opportunity. That, I think, is the basis of my Christianity, is to show the love which Jesus has told us to love your neighbour as yourself. And I think that's one of the most important things to remember in anyone's religion, because without love you have no religion. As I've grown older, I've got more fervent in my belief. I think, whereas before I never really connected religion with politics, I think they're tightly bound together. For anybody who says to you that never talk about politics and religion, they don't know what they're talking about. You can't have a decent political system in any country without Christianity. That's what ties them together. So that's where I come from. And Rena wants to ask me certain questions, which I'll do my best to answer. Carry on, Rena.
Well, it's fascinating to hear, Dave. You know, it's amazing what you've been through in your life. So you've got a lot of experience, you know. So going forward with, like, the religion aspect of your life, why would you say, like, you believe Genesis has a non-literal element to it? Well, what has, you know, brought you to think that?
I have an open mind on it because simply I have a great ignorance.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, because it's very interesting to me.
It's very easy to make an assumption with little knowledge of the subject.
Yeah, that's true. I
haven't studied.
That's true.
To any degree.
Yeah.
So that's why I have an open mind on it.
Yeah.
It seems to me that the scientists believe in evolution.
Right.
I believe in evolution in its seems to be the more practical and sensible answer to the question of this. I know Jesus built the world in 7 days. How long was a day in that time?
That's true.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
I don't think we're talking 24 hours. That doesn't
Never been established
by anybody with any degree of certainty.
Yeah.
So therefore, with all the arguments from scientists, religious people, top scientists, top religious people, who can never agree on anything between them.
Yeah.
Where does that leave me?
That's true. So
that's why my mind is open.
Yeah. Would you consider your views very unorthodox, Dave, like for many Christian denominations? Because a lot of them believe, obviously, in creationism. Have you ever heard of that?
Like a
lot of Christians, they believe in that. So it's very interesting to me how you deviate from that, And what do you think about creationism anyway? I mean, creationism, apart from because you're more speaking from an evolutionary Christian perspective, which is very different.
How would you describe creationism?
Well, I would describe that God made, man and woman on one day, and there was no evolutionary process from that. That's how I would define it.
You believe in the scientific that we could have come from sea creatures, or
I believe
developed from there, then we became land creatures.
Yeah, but I personally believe, from my perspective, that we don't evolve from animals. I believe they were created separately from humans, and that God had no intention to make us, from them to evolve from them. I think that Adam and Eve were created in a refined manner where there was no evolution in it. That's my perspective.
The question I would ask on that is this: that evidence has been found with fossils, especially in the last few years, where they can work out the age of these fossils of old human beings that existed in parts of the earth, especially in Africa.
Right.
Millions of years old.
Right.
Where did language come from? Where was language invented?
Yeah.
How could you pass down a story when there was no such thing as a language?
That's true.
To pass it down.
But as Christians, we go back to the Tower of Babel story, because that's how all the languages were scattered. Because there was one language. I think you understand that, right? There was one language. We don't know what that language was, because at that time, Judaism
grunt and groan and
exactly, it was very physical.
That was the basic language at the beginning, because they didn't have an established language.
That's true. And then
how would they pass these things on?
Yeah.
And where did the human race start? Did it start in Africa, which we told it did?
Yeah.
Where did it start?
I mean, if you look from my perspective, if you look at where the rivers came from Eden, it looked like civilization started in Iran. Because there's a few rivers there that coincide with the other rivers, like the Euphrates, the Nephron, I think. Yeah. So some people say it's in Iran, where we're
that's why I'm first man.
Yeah, I see.
But whether you believe in one version or another, I don't think it really impedes anybody from practicing the religion that they believe.
Right.
Whether it's
in terms of Christianity,
which I am, whether it's baptism, whatever it is. Those questions really are ancient history questions, really, which we believe in God as existing today.
Exactly.
And we worship the God that is with us in our lives.
That's true.
Yeah. And that's where I start from.
Right, that's interesting, Dave. Very, very interesting. So moving to another topic, which is, not on the same, strand, but I don't know if you've noticed, but I've noticed this very strongly recently. There's been a much undermining and dilution of Christianity in this country. What are your views on this?
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Where do you think this has all started from, Dave?
Communism.
Communism, right.
One of the root causes is communism. We do have a communist government.
Right. Yeah.
All members of the front bench on the Labour side have been members at some time or another of the Fabian Society.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a communist society. Yeah. That's where they're coming from.
Right.
How many people know that? Do they brag about it on television?
They don't.
Of course, they keep all those things quiet.
Yeah.
They don't want you to know they're communists.
That's true.
They're just lovely socialist, lovable people.
Yeah.
Want to love everybody. Give your money to everybody and give you absolutely
It makes no sense, does it, Dave?
And that's what you've got.
And I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've noticed this as well. There hasn't really been a real religious person in office since Margaret Thatcher.
No.
Since she's left, they're all secular. which is very interesting too. And I feel like the establishment want that to be. So, Christianity doesn't returned.
I agree. And I think a lot of the blame can be put on church leaders.
Oh, yeah.
They seem to have a reluctance to speak out clearly what their inner feelings must tell them.
That's true.
It must tell them. I mean, the inner feelings that I have, say, for example, our Christianity is weakening here. Who's doing it? Who's weakening it?
It's got to be Welby.
Welby.
He's one of them. He's terrible. He's terrible.
But if you dilute your religion in this country by mixing it with Hinduism, atheism, Buddhism, Islam, and all the rest of it, then obviously you're going to have a diluted religious aspect on your government. It's going to dilute.
That's true.
And therefore, you're going to have a mixture of people, if you believe in democracy, that represent all these people.
Yeah.
Whereas before, it was a Christian government in a Christian country. And the more that goes on, and you get these people from outside the Christian communities taking over powers of position, the weaker and weaker it will
get.
It's
true. So do you think that the separation of church and state hasn't worked then in this country?
Which?
Like the separation of church and state, you don't think that's worked
in
this country?
No.
So you think that we should return like more of a Christian centre?
I think that whether somebody believes in a religion or of any kind, whether a Christian belief like Catholic, Church of England, Protestant, Baptist, whatever.
Right.
We all basically believe in Christ. We believe in Jesus Christ. We believe in the Ten Commandments. We know what's right from wrong, which tells us in our catechisms as well as the Bible, which the first things you learn in school is your catechism.
Yeah.
So it starts from there. And I think every Christian would know what that catechism is. It's not a very big book for these people to keep in their pocket when they go into Parliament.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And that's what they should be looking at. You don't have to take a big Bible in it wherever you go.
Yeah.
Take your catechism. That's the basic things that you have to remember.
The basic tenets. That's the basic tenets of your faith, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's really been an abandonment of that, hasn't there? I mean,
you can see.
I mean, even in Parliament, when an MP gets newly elected, they can swear on the Quran now, or another book, or the Bhagavad Gita. Like, they don't have to swear on the Bible. It's unbelievable. I think that's a real showing, That's a real showing.
Yeah.
But, I was going to say as well, Dave, you're a very avid traveller at Speaker's Corner, aren't you? You're very avid, you go to the Speaker's Corner quite a lot, don't you?
I'm one of these people, if I go to somewhere, I like to get involved.
Yeah, I know you do. I've seen you firsthand.
I don't like to be an onlooker.
Yeah, well...
because that would bore me.
Exactly. You have to get involved,
see what's going on. If I've got something to say, I'll say it.
Exactly.
If I think somebody needs a good bollocking, I'll give him a good bollocking.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that, really.
Yeah.
And if he's right, I'll say he's right.
Yeah. Well... delving more deep in your experience at Speaker's Corner, how would you find Christianity being treated there? And what is the perspective of many of the people that go there anyway?
My perception of the people that go there, double-edged sword there, because some people go there to cause trouble.
Right.
And I'll name them, they're Islamists. Not every Muslim, but the Islamists that go there. And you can always tell them they're there every week. Especially I think it's the last Sunday of every month. They come in force, and they're even despised by a lot of the good Muslims that go there. They tell me that themselves.
Why?
And they go to cause trouble. They go to mock, and they go there to shout down so that Christianity cannot be heard, so that a Christian voice cannot be heard. That's why they shout and scream.
Yeah. Because
they've got no logical answers. Half of them, when you ask them a question about their own religion, they either make it up.
Yeah.
Or start asking you a question because they can't answer the one that you've given them.
That's a very easy...
And I get this all the time.
Yeah, that's a very common tactic to use. If you can't answer something, they'll spin it on you.
Muslim community.
They'll spin it on you. It's true.
Yeah.
It's very true, Dave.
I don't bother arguing much with atheists because I don't think if the people that get up there, mainly they're 30 plus, 40, 50, and I think that anything I say to an atheist is not going to make much difference anyway.
Right.
I might as well concentrate on something else.
I
won't waste my breath. But
I
will go and defend Christians up there.
It's our duty.
Stand behind them so that someone's not going to harm them.
It's our duty. I mean, Jesus has said that,
It's your duty to support Christians, right? Now that leads me on to something else. To support Christians, you have to start in the schools. You have to start in the home from a very young age. The schools are teaching such garbage to their young children today. And any teacher worth his salt who calls himself a Christian cannot go along with government agenda.
Well, they're not Christian.
Cannot. They're both contradictory.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Gayness, for one.
Exactly.
Right? There's number one.
Yeah.
Preaching about Muslim because they teach all faiths.
Yeah.
It's against the Christian religious belief that you preach other faiths.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean,
you
Jesus
don't promote another faith.
I mean, Jesus said in the Bible, if you preach another gospel, something contrary to the gospel, you're anathema, you're cursed.
Exactly.
Because people are cursed, they don't realise they're actually a curse.
And you've got all these left-wing so-called do-gooders. I haven't found anything good that they've done. They call them do-gooders, but they don't do any good. They're woke people, weak. The W's for weak. What the rest of it is, well, I'll leave it again.
Yeah.
I can put some adjectives to it, but I won't for the interview.
Yeah, I can imagine, Dave. I can imagine in my head. But I was going to say, shifting back again at Speaker's Corner, have you, because you used to go when you were younger, right? Like many years ago.
I first went there only on one occasion when I was aged about, I don't know, 11, 12, something like that, with my father.
Yeah.
The content of the discussion then was totally different.
Right.
The type of people that were there, basically you may find the odd one or two tourists.
Yeah.
The rest are all English, white people, Christians, atheists, Labour Conservatives, all that kind of thing. Some Nazis.
Oh, wow.
Neo-Nazis,
they
try and make excuses for some of the things that they won't say they actually would support Hitler, but try to make excuses for the Holocaust.
Gosh.
That tells me they're a Nazi.
Yeah, Holocaust deniers.
And I can remember very vaguely those kind of conversations because I think my father got involved in one or two, and I think it was about the war, because he was a London fireman right the way through the Second World War in East End of London, down by the dock. A lot of his friends and colleagues got killed on that job. My father was lucky. He came out unscathed on that physically, but it did affect him emotionally.
Mentally, yeah.
That was commented on by one of my cousins, said he was a different man after the war than he was before.
Right, I see, Dave. It's interesting. Interesting. So would you say, at that time, Christianity was more of a presence then? Because at the minute, it doesn't seem like that. It seems like it shifted in terms of the demographic, the religious demographic. Yeah. Would you say Christianity more of a presence back in those days or not?
Well, now...
I mean, now it's obviously...
I can remember even in those days they were arguing about housing. Now, the shortage of housing in those days because so many of the houses have been bombed.
Yeah, that's true. That's different circumstances.
It wasn't to do to the shortage of housing today is to do with immigration.
Yeah.
And they say, well, we need to build. How many builders do you see? How many Pakistani builders you see? How many, all these people are coming over, you never see one a building site.
Well, it's true.
You might see East European, Poles and others like that, they do.
Yeah.
And, but you see very few of them on there, so we don't have them. 3% of them are fully qualified doctors, nurses, and working in the health profession. You've got a very small number that we need here.
Yeah.
Out of the total number of people that are coming here, who are absolutely, some of them they've been here 10 years or more, they can't even speak a word of English.
I know.
And yet they're claiming social benefits.
And that should be the basic requirement. I mean, it's not fair at all, Dave, and that should be the basic requirement of anyone coming here, regardless if they're from the Middle East or not.
Yeah, I believe in helping poor people, but you do not help poor people by making others poor.
Exactly.
And if you're going to help more people, you help them in their own country to build their institutions. You don't steal their doctors, their nurses, and their qualified staff, which those taxpayers out there, as poor as they are, have paid to educate.
Exactly.
Now, where's the goodness? Where's socialism there?
Well,
doesn't exist.
It's a failed ideology. It's failed. Every time it's tested, it's failed. Yeah. If you look at Venezuela, it's very simple to know that it doesn't work. But not everywhere is terrible in the world. In regards to Christianity, there's some countries like the former Soviet bloc countries that are doing great. and in particular Poland and Hungary, Christian culture is thriving. So why do you think that's so, Dave? What is so special about Hungary and Poland?
I think when I look back, I've not met many Polish people.
Right.
I have met some.
Mm.
I don't think I've only ever met and spoken to two Hungarian people. One was my uncle.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah.
And another one was who I worked with in a factory years ago. Both very nice people, Christian people. They haven't had their religion diluted by Islam,
right,
by Hinduism, and all these other foreign. Should we call them exotic beliefs?
Exotic beliefs, yeah. That's a more politically correct term, yeah. Yeah.
They haven't been infiltrated by these sections of society. Now, they've also, under the communist bloc, they didn't have the wealth that we have in the West.
Right.
And I think in the West here, well, I call it East and West Europe, it come under the communist bloc. Although they try to do away with Christianity and just keep one faith that was loyal to the state, which was the Russian Orthodox churches, things like that, which there's nothing religious about those people. They're told what to do by people like Stalin and Putin. But anyway, it did survive. Catholicism was outlawed for many, many years.
Right.
I knew people, I won't go into who they were, that tried to help.
Right.
And go to Russia, secretly trying to help them coming back.
Yeah.
I think I told you about that in a discussion, a private discussion earlier.
Yeah.
And the Polish, not just those, the Romanian people, and all those countries out there, Ukrainians, Poles, Bulgarians, all those people, they were under the communist flag. They didn't have much, but they did have is a religion.
Yeah. In their hearts. It's in their hearts.
Yeah, they weren't bothered about their flash car, thinking about that.
Yeah.
Or their whatever else they wanted, their exotic holidays abroad and all that kind of thing. They didn't. They had the basic necessities of life. And I think there was nothing there to distract them from their religion. Well, I think in Western societies, there's so much now on offer.
Oh, I know.
Especially since the internet's coming.
Yeah.
That they detract from their religious thoughts and beliefs. And they're thinking of other things.
Hedonistic. It's hedonistic attitude.
It's a very hedonistic society.
And
where they weren't brought up with that hedonistic because it just wasn't there for them.
Yeah.
So I think they managed to cling on to their Christian beliefs.
Yeah.
And not only that, they've seen what's happened in countries like Britain, in Holland, you name it, Germany, France, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
With the influx of immigrants, especially from the Muslim community.
Yeah.
And the trouble and the problems that it has caused.
Yeah.
And they said, we don't want any of that. And who can blame them?
Exactly. And you know what? In regards to the other religions, I would say one of the biggest, worst religions out there, secularism. What do you think about that? Because even at that time when they were living under communism, in a way, communism was like a religion to the people that believed in it. Because they replaced God with a man, with a person, whether it was Mao or, Ceausescu, So wouldn't you consider that, so wouldn't you consider that secularism is kind of a religion?
I know, to a very reliable source, that, not recently, but before the fall of the Berlin Wall, years before that, I think I'm trying to think of when it was now, 80 something, I can't remember. But anyway, before that time, service was said in private houses.
Right.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Marriages were conducted in private. They might have to go to what they call the state registry office.
Yeah.
But then they would also have a religious ceremony. They could have it in the houses.
Yeah.
The priests and the vicars could go to those houses and visit. And that's how it was kept undercover in those days. Yeah. But people were jailed for it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even today in China, they're being jailed. They're having their churches underground. It's awful. Yeah. Communism is a real scourge in the world.
And when you think of it, going back, we're just recapping slightly.
Yeah.
When you think about how the religion has weakened in this country, watered down, diluted, whichever word you want to use. What do you think of the statement by King Charles at Easter time?
That was awful, honestly.
Never mentioned Easter.
That was awful.
Never mentioned Easter.
I know, never mentioned it. They even
What did he mention?
Islam. I mean,
Islam and their feast day.
Yeah, and the feast day, and he even celebrated with them when they did the Ramadan. He even celebrated with the castle.
He's supposed to be head of the Church of England.
Of the faith.
Now, what does that say to you about the head of the church in this country?
Well, that proves
not very much.
No, doesn't at all. If he's not willing to defend it.
No, and I think going back, even recapping again, if I was ever to think as a young person today, if I was 18 or whatever, going into the army, when I went in, I saw a picture of the Queen, which I loved.
Yeah.
And was very, very proud to serve.
Yeah.
Do I think I could look at him and think the same thing?
No way.
Not for me.
No way.
I'd find something else to do.
Exactly, and he's not honouring God. At the end of the day, Dave, he's not honouring God. You know, he's not honouring Jesus, is he? So, what's the point?
She was the. You had two great monarchs. You had Alfred the Great, and you had Queen Elizabeth II.
That's true.
And to stand with those two, the rest of them are. I wouldn't even bother.
It's true. They were the two greatest. It's true. So, since we've had a little discussion about Poland and Hungary, you know, being like great arbiters of Christian culture, what do you think the ways in which we can do the same thing in the UK are? Do you think it's going to be a long time?
First of all,
why?
You've got to deter people from coming here for the benefits.
Yeah.
Because if you get people coming here, and let's be fair, I'm not going to mince my words, the biggest threat this country has now isn't from Russia and China.
No.
It's from within.
Yeah.
And it's from Islam. And I know that young people who are brainwashed in it, and I've experienced it, you say that to them, they look at you as if you're Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
Right? They have a lot to learn.
Oh, yeah, they do.
And when they're older, they will realise what I've been telling them is the truth.
Yeah.
Just like Tommy Robinson's been telling them the truth for years and years and years.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't want to listen. It was too uncomfortable for them.
Yeah.
Now he's been proved as as far as I'm concerned, a champion.
He has.
A champion of young girls.
Yeah.
And not only young boys, some of them.
Exactly, especially in like the grooming gangs.
A champion for young girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially.
And I think he should be rewarded. Whether you say a knighthood, Obi, whatever you like to call it, he should have a good recognisable award for what he's not only for what he's done, for what he's suffered as a consequence by the communist state.
Exactly.
Or as we say, regime.
As that regime is a better word. And even Tommy, I mean, he appreciates that Christianity is the bedrock of this country and needs reviving, even him. You know, like, it's amazing.
Yeah. They try to pretend people like Tommy Robinson just an ignorant, out of order thug.
Yeah.
Well, I think if I remember rightly when I was listening to a programme on the television, he does have, I think, 12 GCEs to his name.
It's true, engineering.
And he's also a fully qualified aircraft engineer.
Engineer, exactly.
That doesn't strike me as being an idiot.
Yeah, it's not at all.
Right?
Yeah.
The idiots are the one who's criticising him.
Exactly.
A lot of them, because a lot of those people that criticise and condemn him are envious of him. They only wish they could be like him.
That's true.
They haven't got the bloody guts.
That's true.
To be like that.
And you know what? Talking of envy, Dave, that's why they killed Jesus, the Pharisees, because of envy. It's just so in the New Testament.
And one of the priests that went to visit him, it was recorded.
Yeah.
One of the priests that went to visit, because he did have regular visits from him in church. He had his Bible as well, and all the rest in prison. Said to him, Tommy, I'm afraid you're the sacrificial lamb.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's a big statement.
That is a big, big statement.
That is.
It's a pity he didn't get on television to say it.
Oh, imagine.
On the BBC, ITV, and all these left-wing liberal... I'll say no more about it. I don't even bother looking at them now.
Yeah.
Anything I ever look on BBC is a football.
Exactly, all the weather. And even the weather they get wrong, don't they, Dave?
The weather sometimes, but even then you think, are they telling me the truth?
Exactly. So going back to it, honestly, envy is one of the worst sins in the Bible, you know, like, they killed Jesus because of it. That's all you need to know about envy. But, so at this point, what do you think the future looks like for Christianity in the UK if we don't do something now about it?
In the near future, very bleak.
Very bleak, yeah.
As God said, I will always be with you, so it will never...
No.
It will never be eliminated. They couldn't even eliminate it in China.
That's true, yeah.
And if they can't do it, nobody's going to. So, and it won't happen here. And I personally believe there could be a revolution in this country.
Right.
when I say a revolution, I'm not necessarily talking about a violent revolution. I think there will be some violence in it, regardless, but not a massive violent revolution like we've seen in history, in other places, or civil wars like we've had, things like that. I'm not talking about that, but I think, and nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see anybody.
Of course not. We're Christians. We're supposed to be peaceful.
I think we really need to take to task. We first got to get out of the European Convention of Human Rights.
Yeah.
Because all these words of "we promise you this" and "we promise you that" are absolutely meaningless when it comes to the question of immigration. They know damn well they cannot do anything about it while they're in that human rights stranglehold. They're not allowed to.
Yeah.
And they don't want to come out of it. They said categorically they're not coming out of it. So therefore their intention to cut down immigration means nothing. It's all lies and bullshit. It's as simple as that.
It's true.
Anybody who wants to do something about it knows it's like trying to enter a room without going through the door. What are you going to do? Knock the bloody wall down?
Exactly.
You know? If you haven't got the key to stop immigration is to get out of the European human rights.
Yeah, ECHR.
Get out of that. That's the key of the door.
Yeah, but that takes courage, Dave. I think that's what we've had a lack of. Exactly. We need someone.
I don't trust Farage.
Yeah.
I don't trust him.
Yeah.
Why does he get rid of people like Rupert Lowe, who speaks the language that I thought he spoke? He certainly speaks for me. Nigel Farage doesn't speak for me anymore.
No.
Ben Habib, people like him, the Reverend, what's his name, went to America. Calvin Robinson. Now, if they want to listen to a good preacher, I suggest people put on their YouTube channel and get interested in certain things. Listen to people like Rupert Lowe, Bob of Speaker's Corner. Get on your YouTube channel, turn this rubbish off BBC, ITV, LBC. And if you want to punish the kids for being misbehaving, let them listen to James O'Brien for an hour in the corner. And I'll tell you what, they'll behave themselves for the rest of the day.
It's only will, Dave. I do think, though, Dave, that has to be addressed, the lack of courage in this country. I think in order for Christianity to be revived completely and entirely, we need someone with courage.
You do.
And who's that person going to be? Yeah.
Tommy Robinson type.
Yeah. And with the conviction to carry that forward, that's what we need, you know. And I feel a lot of people aren't standing up. Yeah. That's the problem, Dave.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's different circumstances, but when you talk about people like Tommy Robinson, to me, who would I compare him with today? As leaders, as people of prominence, who would you compare him?
No one of the modern age. I mean, recent years.
There's nobody like him.
No.
And that's what they don't like.
Yeah.
They know he's telling the truth, but they can't let the people know that he's telling the truth.
Exactly.
And because he can't speak like Douglas Murray and hasn't got the education, they can treat him like any way they like, but they would not. He has said the same things as Douglas Murray, but people are condemning him for.
Exactly.
And Douglas Murray is on there speaking all the time, and nobody says a word about it.
Unbelievable. But yeah, Dave, I think that's the solution. I think it's got to be a physical thing to revive Christianity, but also a political thing. I think there's two elements to it, don't you think? What do you think is the best option?
I don't think anything unless you love your faith, love your family, love your nation.
Yeah. Because
Christianity is not going to work for you unless you do those things.
Yeah, there has to be proactivity in those things.
And you love your God, because unless you've got love, you can't say, well, I do love God, but I hate my neighbours.
That's hypocritical, no. We have to have a love of humanity overall, don't we? We need to have a love of humanity overall.
You treat people the way you would like to be treated. And that's with respect. Now, with Muslims, no matter who they are, if I see one in the street, I show respect. The problem is that they don't show it back in lots of cases. They're guests to this country. If I was to come into your house, condemn you, swear at you, curse you, threaten you, I don't think I'm going to be invited back again.
No.
I've got a funny feeling about it. I
No.
could be wrong.
No one will take you kindly, especially if you come through the back
these
door.
people are guests in our house.
Yeah.
In our house. Our house is Britain,
Exactly.
and this is where we live
Hmm.
as a community, as a family of Britons.
Yeah.
They're infiltrators that
Yeah.
are not needed and they're not wanted. As far as I'm
Exactly.
concerned, they're savages, half of them.
Exactly.
They belong in savage lands.
That's true. That's
And
true, though.
until, I mean, we used to be savages here, so it's not a disrespectful
Yeah,
thing to have.
if you go back to Anglo-Saxons,
We were savage.
Yeah,
They're at a very early age of coming out of savagery.
Yeah.
And until they do reach that situation, they should not be coming here.
No.
It's like animals.
it's true.
We're all animals. We're all human.
Yeah,
Animals are all animals.
yeah.
You wouldn't put a dog in the same cage as a lion.
No way, no way.
So why put a Christian in the same cage as a Muslim?
No, that wouldn't work. This
It
wouldn't work.
doesn't work.
It wouldn't.
It's simple as that.
It wouldn't. But yeah, Dave, your views have been very interesting. It's been great to discuss these things with you, honestly. But I will.
Somebody would say far right.
Yeah, I mean, someone would. Yeah. Somebody does respect freedom of
I
speech.
suspect that some of them are. My views are.
Yeah.
Because without courage, without determination,
Conviction,
and
yeah.
you've got to have determination.
Oh, yeah.
As a government, as a leader, or anything else, you've got to have the determination to do the right thing,
Carry it through.
not cater for votes.
No, it's true.
Now, you take people like Starmer. He supports the Muslims all the time. Why does he support them? Because he knows that the Muslim will block vote. When
Exactly.
it comes to voting, any election, they block vote. They're told who to vote for, and by man, they will vote for that person.
Exactly.
And it's going to be a Muslim.
Yeah.
Now, he may be a minority. It may be a minority in that section of the town or city. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You voted Conservative. That guy over there voted Labour. The other guy
Lib Dem.
voted with some green idiot or so. And they've all voted, so it's all split.
Mm.
Although together we will make up a larger majority.
Yeah.
But that's not the way the system works in
Yeah.
this country.
Yeah.
It's first past the post.
Yeah.
And they will get first past the post because of the way they vote.
Mm.
And that's why I know, if I can see that these brains are supposed to be running our affairs forward, can see that as well, and they're doing damn all about it. Because they couldn't care less. They sit in their little ivory towers with their big fat pensions and their little servants and all the rest of it, and lord it over the rest of us.
It's true.
And most of them now are putting up steel gates
Yeah.
and security systems to keep themselves safe. Why? Not because of the native Christian.
No, no,
I can assure
exactly.
you of that.
We're
And
peacemakers.
because of some wild fox might run
No,
into the
no way. No way.
So why?
Well,
we all know the answer
yeah.
to that.
But you know what, Dave? I was thinking, like, during this interview, what would be great if we could all form a Christian party, a political Christian
Oh,
party. Don't you think that would be brilliant,
I would
Dave?
do that, yeah.
I would vote for that. Wouldn't you vote for that?
I would as well.
Well,
I would as well.
You know.
I mean, you take Alex living here at the moment. He comes to my church on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
At Christmas time, he came to. I was up in Newcastle. I said, I'm going to church Christmas Eve, Alex. And Simone, I said, you like to come? And Simone, it was a bit cold. She said, no, I'll stay at home. And Alex said, I'll come with it. And he loved it. He loved it. He loved the hymn singing. He loved the choir and everything else. I did a new experience for him. And when you look at it, I'm talking to him about his religion and comparing it to my own, there's very little difference.
no, yeah, exactly. There's,
Very little difference.
yeah, it's true.
And why that little bit of difference can't be just that few final steps so that we can all be one. And I think that's what Woodbury is, isn't it? He's an ecumenical Christian.
Yeah.
And I've got very strong leanings in that direction.
Well, Dave, it's been great having you on, on my podcast. I mean, we'll do another one in the future.
Before we finish, can I just say something?
Yeah, of course, of course. It's freedom of speech here,
I don't
mate.
think I've stressed it enough. You know what I'm going to talk about? Our Tommy.
Of course, you have
Right.
to, yeah.
I suggest that people who have been lied to or suspect that they have been lied to, get onto the YouTube channels. Get on there. Search through them. See what Bob of Speakers Corner, one of the best Christian speakers ever to visit that park. He's there most Sundays. Listen to him. See what he has to say about Tommy Robinson. See what the Reverend
Calvin
Robinson has got to say.
Funny enough, the same
See what
surname.
Rupert Lowe's got to say. Ben Habib's got to say. See what these people got to say. Totally different than what the BBC. That's why they're not allowed to mention him on BBC in fear of losing their jobs. If they say anything at all that's favourable to Tommy Robinson, they have lost their job and pension. Let people know these facts and get onto the proper news. 2CTV is another one. Yeah, there's so many you can search. And I ask the young people of today, ignore your teachers. Listen to what they have to say. And when they say, well, we can't discuss it. No, I want to discuss it. It's a freedom of speech, or don't I have it? Are you telling me that I have not got the freedom of speech? And let the teacher tell you that you haven't, and then you'll know you haven't.
Exactly. That's very strong words, Dave. Well, thanks for your time, mate, yeah? God bless you.
Thank you. Hope we can do it again sometime.
Definitely, mate.
God bless you, my friend.
So there you have it, brothers and sisters. A wonderful conversation with Dave of Speaker's Corner. I'll catch you all in the next episode. Share, like and subscribe as always. God bless you all.